See that high water jump you feel. 'Cause I'm alone. Do you see the sun? Better stop right now before the day's begun. Land like this, in a land like this, in a land like this, sure is hot.
Tracks on that, Kenny.
Sure is hot.
Yeah. You didn't write that about Kauai.
No.
No.
I actually wrote that in Arizona, in Phoenix, and to really get the feeling, I went out on the porch in 125 degrees, and needless to say, I was rushing through the verses a little bit to get back inside. But
sure is hot.
Sure is hot.
Now we know why the refrain.
Why that's repetitive at the end there. And actually, it's one of the tunes that I did a video for, and shot most of the video on the lava fields of the Big Island. So that sure is hot thing really works.
The video is on MySpace?
On MySpace. I'm also on Facebook. You can get me on Facebook. I've published as well on YouTube, and the kenherkes.com space will have that video as well.
Okay, cool. We're going to hit another record off, or another cut off of the release. Rock Solid, Crystal Clear.
Yeah, this tune I wrote when I was working on a cruise ship in Alaska, and it's really about the cycle of water on our planet. As we were sailing away from the glaciers, and the hard ice was falling into the ocean and some was floating away, a lot of the visualization was about this cycle of water and how we as people in our relationships also turn hard as a rock, but when we fall into the ocean of love, we melt again, we become lighter than air, back up to the clouds, come back, and that cycle comes back down to where hard as a rock, falling into the ocean again. And it's
so doing this session, what are we listening to on some of the tracks, and who's playing?
I'm bookended by two Grammy Award-winning guitar players, Randy Lorenzo on one side and Charles Brotman on the other, and they did a fabulous job.
Well, what do you say?
This tune actually started one way and became something else when you add all of those wonderful people in. So I thought maybe I'd play a couple of bars of how it started, and then we can play the track and see how it finished up from a songwriter's standpoint. Rock solid, crystal clear, shades of green and blue. Did it take 1,000 years for me to come to you? And I stand my ground, and I think I can. falling in the sea, and out of water rock becomes, and the ocean sets you free. So it started that way and ended like this.
Solid crystal clear, shades of green and blue. Did it take 1,000 years for me to come to you? Stand my ground, think I can, falling in the sea, and out of water rock becomes, the ocean sets you free. Solid crystal clear, shades of me and you. Did it take 100 years for me to just come through? I stand my ground and I think I can, falling in the sea, and out of water rock becomes, the ocean sets me free. And I sail away on the tide, the ocean swell, choose to ride on that monumental day that it sends me on my way home again to greet the tide. Rock solid crystal clear, shades of green and blue. Did it take 1,000 years for me to just come through? I stand my ground, think I can, falling in the sea, and out of water rock became, the ocean set me free. The ocean sets me free. The ocean sets me free.
It's got a nice taste to it.
It does.
I really like it.
Doesn't hurt to have Randy Lorenzo and Charles Brotman either.
Yeah, I would. I would agree with you there.
Randy had a great tag.
That was. Now, tell us the writing on that, but it was the musicians that helped bring the thing together. Now, the musicians to you on this album were big part of the project.
Huge help, huge part of the project. Randy has been contributing for the last year with me and helped me a lot. Garen Poliahu as a drummer is superb, so he was helping with the arrangements. It came together very well as a bunch of good friends together in a studio, laughing and having a great time.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be, I think.
Yep.
The title cut. We were talking about it when we were listening to that last song, and you were saying how this cut. Well, tell me a little bit about it.
Talk My Language has been something I've been working on for a long time, and so to try to communicate to Garen and Randy and everybody. Obviously, I was emulating or modeling other musicians and trying to say, okay, I'd like this to start this way. So in the beginning, you hear the drum parts, and I tried to describe it as an old, maybe not Tommy Dorsey, but an old band sound with that drum beating. Then Randy came in playing the bass, and when he moved to electric guitar and played, I said, I'd like to have these licks played a little bit like Steely Dan. So as we modeled that song, it went from one spectrum to another spectrum completely, but that's kind of like the spectrum of language. I mean, that's that whole talk my language thing. It's got a little tongue-in-cheek portion to it, to the lyrics, and it's also one of the other cuts that I did the music videos for, and the music videos for this were shot in 5 different countries: South Africa, shot in Alaska, coming in and out of the best bars I could find in town. So the Red Dog Saloon, yep, it was great research. Red Dog Saloon in Juneau, Alaska, the Purple Turtle in Cape Town, South Africa, Sun City, South Africa, Maui, Hawaii, and there's a little clip in there in Switzerland.
Oh, wow. That's kind of neat. Well, this is the title cut, and I notice on the CD itself you have Talk My Language in 20 languages?
20 languages. It's also a good travel reader.
Get you started. Where's the bathroom?
Searched the world over for a girl who speaks my tongue. I've traveled the globe just to find my only one. The language of love is the key to my refrain. Even though I can't remember your name, and I know that you're here with me through my eyes. I alone can see. Take my hand, take my soul. You take half, and then made it whole. And then you talk my language and speak my soul. Speak to me in Spanish, 'cause it melts me so.
Bring me to my knees.
Absolutely. It always does.
Kenny Herkes and Talk My Language. That's the release, and we got Kenny here with us playing around this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I
well,
really
yeah.
appreciate
Hey,
it.
listen. Glad you came by. We got more to go. We want to talk. By the way, I can totally see that they paid attention to you when you said, "Give me some Steely Dan sound." That's very early Steely Dan.
Early
sound.
Steely Dan. Yep.
Really nice stuff. That's when Denny Diaz, I think, was the guitar player at that time, as well as Jeff Baxter.
I think so.
They
Yep.
had that nice stuff. They had that nice stuff back early on. I liked them, and that was good. There's a cut that kind of jumped out at me on the release called "Freedom Is." Tell me a little about it.
I wrote this tune with Mel Baster. Now, Mel Baster has been around rock and roll.
I know Mel.
Forever. I know you do. He used to be Cat Stevens' road guy, Rod Stewart and Faces, Celine Dion recently, and right now he's out on the road as Kenny Loggins' personal manager. So Loggins and Messina tour is going on right now, and Mel and I were again in Arizona, where Mel is living, and we were driving to a restaurant one day and started tapping out this song on the dashboard, as sometimes happens. And as Mel and I drove through town, we were singing "Freedom Is" and doing this piece. And Mel goes, "Okay, when you do write," it's like 5 years ago, "when you do write this piece, don't forget that we wrote this piece together." So it is the only collaborative piece.
I know Mel.
Yes, he's not new to this game, and I'm certainly hoping he's right.
Well, I do too. So I picked this one up. I thought this was pretty good. This is "Freedom Is," Kenny Herkes.
On my way to the 4th of July, right down Main Street, my uncle replied, freedom's found in the eyes of the young, and the walk of the elders on the tip of the tongue. If you've got freedom in your heart, you got freedom in your soul, freedom that just sings to you that it's just like rock and roll. Freedom is. With a tear in his eye, he recalled the days when he fought for his country and his friends passed away. The man, he said, that they fought and died to save his freedom, to live his life. You got freedom in your heart, you got freedom in your soul, you got freedom that just sings to you that it's just like rock and roll. Freedom is.
seems to me you write from life's experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not a love song on that album. Not that I'm going in a transition at the moment, but no, yeah, a lot of life experiences and songs written in locations where I've been working around the world. So it's been a lot of fun getting to this point, and looking forward to doing more of it.
Well, okay, now I'm going to jump on that point because the next cut, and actually I think it will be the last cut we're going to listen to today. It's the first one that jumped out on me on the album for the title, not for the music necessarily, but for the title, and it's called "I'm a God." Tell me a little bit about this one.
I wrote this tune in Las Vegas. Giant billboards, big heads. It occurred to me that a couple of thousand years from now, when they dig up Las Vegas, they're just not going to know what it was. They're going to think it's a religious shrine, and of course, there had to be gambling at every religious shrine. So the three verses, the first verse is about a billboard, basically the big head, giant head out in the desert looking down at me. The second verse is about the Incas, the Mayan tradition of playing that football game, and the guy that wins loses his head.
Yeah.
And then the last one I wrote, I figured you had to, if you're going to do a song about religion, it talks about Jesus and him scattering the money changers around, but the next day they returned. The lesson to be learned is that gambling and religion are like bees and birds.
Oh my goodness.
Facts of life.
Well, let's take a listen.
Out in the desert, standing 10 feet tall, some beggar's stare, staring down at you all. Says, bring me your diamonds, bring me jewelry to my feet. Like that godlike figure, Lord, you make it, you will meet. 'Cause I'm a God, just a God. I'm a God among you mortal men. In the days of the Incas, with the pyramid up high, the godlike figure, Lord, staring down from the sun and sky. As if you win the game with chance, life you gonna lose. Like that godlike figure, Lord, I know which one you will choose. 'Cause I'm God, just a God. I'm a God among the mortal men. That who, what, where, why, which you can depend. The godlike figure staring down to the end, Lord. 'Cause I'm a God. In the days of Jesus, with the Sermon on the Mount, the money changers, Lord, they were scattered about. The next day they returned, lesson to be learned is that gambling and religion are just like bees and birds. I'm a God, just a God. God among all you mortal men. I can tell you who, what, why, and when, yeah.
I was curious where you're talking about the big head of Las Vegas, but you're talking about the billboards and the pictures of the stars that come there. And, and then
Wayne Newton specifically.
Okay.
Well, that's about the time when Wayne's head was 10 feet tall outside of Vegas, saying, "Come on in."
I get you. A little bit of the do things for real. Is the basic concept of the end of that song. I mean, basically.
Yeah. That those that think that they can eliminate one side of human behavior or the other eventually pass away, and the next human steps in to show them they're wrong.
Well, it's the way we do it here. Cool enough. Hey, you would tell him we're going to go into another singer-songwriter here.
Alita Adams.
Thanks for coming. I want to thank you a lot for coming. I know the purpose of you coming into Kauai, I would like to think, was to say hi and come to the show, and I'm glad you did. But
Absolutely.
I know there was more than that. And it was a good purpose. And this is how many years have they had this?
7 years for the Kauai Music Festival, and I can't emphasize enough how appreciative I am of the talent that they've attracted. That they're able to bring such a high level of songwriters in to expose us to their techniques and sit with them. I'm sold. I'll be back as often as I can, as much as possible, and encourage.
Be up on the stage one day, maybe.
You never know what's going to happen.
That's what it is.
But I do want to say, an aloha and a thank you to the Kauai Music Festival staff. They did a great job.
Oh, God, they brought you over, Kenny. I'm glad we had a chance to listen to the song and the album. And it's Kenny Herkes, and Talk My Language is the release. And the website's kenherkes.com and myspace.com/Ken Herkes. Hey, Kenny, let's go back to another singer-songwriter. This is one I like a lot, and I think you will too.